what's supposedly they're trying to grow us into. Why are they still emitting a frequency without like an electrical pulse? Or because there's got to be something that powers it, right? So what is it that's powering these things? That's what I want to know, because if it's not like our like innate electrical system, from what I understood, it was like an innate electrical system that was keeping these. It's like a battery, right? So like they created, I think it was DARPA, created this pill where like you could swallow it, and it had this tiny function where it's like a switch where like the stomach acids made it turn on. It like it basically charged it and gave it life so that it released whatever it needed to release. So I figured that was the kind of same idea about what we were going to talk about there, but I just don't know. No one really does know. I don't know if I want to find out on my feet or if I want to ask these questions and find out answers now, though, because if we're looking down the barrel of like I Am Legend or something, here we go. Okay, so there's a few more, there's lots of stuff that has happened. And listen, I'm going to try and keep this a short and sweet episode because I don't want to do any editing. I like it nice and clean, one sitting. I've got babies and family and things like that as well to fit in around everything. So again, I really appreciate your guys' patience, and thank you so much for watching. If you can, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear anything that you guys have to say, or any opinions about what I'm talking about, or any references that I'm missing. I love information, and I feel like these are questions that are being asked everywhere. And one of the things that I really want to focus on here and in bring to the table with this channel is I want to create change, but not change like on a massive level. I want people to start thinking about things again. Like even people in our community that are awake, I'm not going to say woke, but just like learning these things and new to the area. We all need to listen to each other. We all need to work together more than ever, because right now humanity is at a breaking point where the time for warning people that the boot is about to fall is short. It's nigh. The boot's going to fall any day, and we all need to be as informed as possible so that when we're not running on fear. I want to eliminate fear, not necessarily a fear in a healthy manner, but fear as in you're going to give your liberty and your sovereignty over to another person to save your life when you have the ability to walk outside and do it yourself. If anything that we could learn from this COVID, this whole last 3 years, the one thing that I hope that we can all pull from this is that we can't rely on other people for our health. Not even doctors. We have to start learning and relearning how to survive on our own. And that's okay, guys. Once you learn how to survive on your own and stand on your own 2 feet, it's unbelievable the amount of things that end up coming to you just by organically being osmosis into it. You know what I mean? Like being outside all the time, and I don't know. I want to stick to, I'm totally going off tangent. But I would like to bring it back around to what we were talking about with frequencies and stuff. I have so many notes, so I'm just going to flip back here. Now, I learned something this week about magnetic vaccines. So I didn't realize, but in 1995, there was a gentleman called Pierre Gilbert. He had written about magnetic vaccines. So again, that comes back round circle to what I was talking about the accumulation over years of these things building up into our systems, over years and years. And then being able to activate it with the technology that they've now been able to sneak through and release on the public, you know. I believe that this technology has been around for a little bit longer than what it came out from. I know everyone is probably on the same page. I think that they've been doing this to us for a lot longer. And I think that they've been doing this to us since before the Spanish flu. I will share some stuff in regards to that. But another thing that I learned in regards to the Pierre Gilbert thing was the magnetic vaccine subject was Operation Crimson Mist. I had never heard of this. This happened in Rwanda, and there was two opposing tribes, and the USA in an FOIA got found out to have flown a microwave LRAD, like a microwave plane, over the top of these two tribes, or at least one of the tribes, because what it did was the frequency. I think they ran it over both the tribes, and it was only one tribe that responded in such a manner that they literally induced such a rage in one of the tribes that they literally slaughtered the other tribe. So that's a rage-inducing frequency. If that's the capability in, like, say, 1990s, even early 2000s, where are we now, and what have they put into us to be able to activate these things? And again, I'm going to reiterate, these signals were being pushed after these people had died. So they were in the ground and had been for a substantial amount of time. I mean, any time is substantial if your heart's finished beating, right? Like, I guess. But I mean, these people had been there for a substantial amount of time, and they were still emitting this signal. So does this mean that these things are still alive in these people? Can they be reactivated or activated again? Do we need to start looking at maybe cremating the corpses instead of burying them? Again, I don't want to cover up their crimes. Definitely do the autopsies before the cremation. But I mean, what's going to happen when nature gets hold of these things? Is it going to get out? Is it going to be out? Is it going to get out? Like blob style, get out? Oh my goodness. I just don't even know. So that was really interesting. I found that really, really interesting. So, as I was saying, the frequencies. All right, so there was another video that I had to look at today, which was 24. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to timestamp that. I had a little bit of an interruption then. I'm going to try and edit that out. I have no idea how to do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. Hair worm and the life cycle. Guys, this is about 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. I wish I'd have thought to put that on before, but no, I didn't. Here we go.
The day starts normally enough. You give your pet some food and water. But later, in your pet's water dish, you find this. a hairworm. It didn't get here on its own. It came out of a little cricket. Don't believe me? Okay. These hairworms are gnarly parasites. They actually control a cricket's mind to get to their home, the water. The hairworm's journey starts innocently enough in a river as an egg. One of many in this long string. The eggs grow into squiggly larvae, which get eaten by a mayfly larva that also lives in the river. And inside the mayfly is exactly where the hairworm needs to be. The hairworm uses this pointy part to burrow into the mayfly's flesh. Then it curls up and waits. Because really, it's not after a mayfly, it's after a cricket. So it sits tight, while the mayfly larva turns into an adult and heads to dry land, where it just might get eaten by a cricket that has no idea what it's in for. Inside the cricket, the hairworm goes at it, eating all the cricket's stored up fat for about a month. The cricket loses its chirp, but the hairworm doesn't kill the cricket because the worm needs a lift back to the water. Crickets usually avoid bodies of water. They're not great swimmers. So the worm takes over, boosting chemicals in the cricket's brain, which make the cricket walk around mindlessly until it happens to reach water. Scientists in France watch this infected cricket make a beeline for the pool. The hairworm makes a break for it.
Ew. So if they have injected parasites of some descriptor, or at least taken pieces of a parasite with the CRISPR technology, so it's taken slices of their genetics out and put them into something to do with these viruses, how freaking freaky is that? So that's not the only parasite, and that is a parasite that is not prone to humans. There are parasites that are prone to humans. And there are many that control the ability of something to be able to process its surroundings and function on a level where it won't die, pretty much. In regards to a lot of the things I'm talking about, I found lots of interesting stuff this week. So, look, this is a bit of a warning, bit of a visual warning. I'm going to flash some pictures of these biostructures or amyloids that John O'Looney and I forget the other gentleman's name off the top of my head, but I've watched all of his interviews. Of course, I can't remember his name right now. But these are some of the things that we're talking about. Oh, look, his name is there and I can't say it. Hirschman. Hirschman. That's it. Okay, so that's one of the, well, we say clots, but once he washes them off, they're not bloody like this. They are, as he's referred to them before, very similar to a calamari or a rubber band, a small rubber band tension. So they've got that structure. Here's another one that was really interesting to see. That's a leg. That's how long that is. That's the top of a thigh there. It's pretty hard to understand that that's existing in someone without having, say, sorry for leaving that up. It's hard to understand how someone is having that in their body without having dead limbs. Okay, guys, that's something that a clot would cause. These things are creating structures where they're they're hollow so that they can allow